Hey everybody, welcome to Bearded Baker Banter, the sports podcast. Where guess what we're going to talk about, boys?
Sports.
Yeah, I'll probably go with sports.
We got a lot to talk about here. We got the bowl season is upon us in this wonderful Christmas season. We got a lot of big NFL headlines, some coaching things kind of floating around, some rumors, some teams that are still kind of in the hunt, but on the outside looking in. So playoff picture's starting to shape up a little bit with the NFL here as we're kind of dwindling down to the end of the season. And then we're going to actually round it out with a little college basketball just to kind of touch on some things because it's really kind of getting full swing. So welcome, Trent. Welcome, Trey.
How you doing, fellas?
Good to be with you this fine evening where the silver and black is on the attack.
Man, it's a walloping. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
42, what were they? It was 30 or what? 42-0 at half. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
You know it.
Man.
You know it. Biggest lead in the Raiders team history going into halftime.
Wow.
I'm also just trying to figure out, like, what the hell changed from last week when you couldn't even score a point?
Well, so Tyler,
saying.
the script this week said to score.
Yeah.
By the way, so that's why. That's
Yeah.
why. But
All right.
Not just score, but score often.
Yeah. Just
yeah,
wondering.
we're putting the nail in the coffin of Coach Staley there. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he goes back to to Los Angeles tonight.
Yeah. True.
But
If he does, then he's got some dirt on the owner or something.
I
Because
don't know. All right, well, boys, let's get into the college football bowl season. So what we're going to do here for listeners, we're going to be picking the first couple of bowls. We're going to be picking all the way up until next Thursday's game. That way, then what we'll do is, we'll kind of divvy them out into segments here, so that way we have some more, things, because obviously things will change. Guys will drop out. Guys might get hurt. That'll give us some more time to kind of evaluate some of the other bowl games moving forward. So we'll kind of do it almost in a 3-segment type of thing with the bowl pick'em. So we're going to go up to our final game tonight is going to be the Syracuse game, which I believe is the Boca Raton, Syracuse, South Florida. So, but let's start off with, I don't know, personally one of my favorite places to be, the Myrtle Beach Bowl. We got the way that we're going to do this is, guys, we will pick based on the spread. We'll make our picks based on the spread. Now, we're using the ESPN spread that is set in stone, so it hasn't changed on the ESPN because that is the way that we're doing our Bearded Baker Banter pick 'em. So
that's right. Everyone sign up. Sign up before first bowl game.
Yep.
Get a free T-shirt and a free sticker.
Yep. All right. So first matchup we got at Myrtle Beach Bowl is Ohio and Georgia Southern. We got Ohio is -1.5 favorites. Input.
Whew, man. Anyone want to lead us or?
Yeah,
What do we
I
think
got
here?
you. I got you. You know me, I'm Mr. Maction Football. Although their offense wasn't as explosive, and they are going to be missing a key running back who decided to enter the transfer portal, I am going Ohio -1.5. I think overall program, overall team, they have been FBS for a little bit longer than Georgia Southern has been. So I'm going Ohio -1.5.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback that, Chen. I'm also going Ohio. I really think it's going to end up being a little bit of kind of a defense wins championships kind of thing. If you look at some of their stat comparison stuff, Georgia Southern actually has a little bit of a stronger offense than Ohio, but Ohio's pretty dominant defensively. So I think that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Ohio -1.5.
Wow. What? So. Okay.
So I'm looking at red zone scoring percentages. I'm looking at third down conversion percentages.
I'm just confused. Well, where are we getting the 1.5 from again?
1.5 from ESPN.
Wow, that's the current line?
No, okay. Like I said earlier, ESPN had them set in stone for their bowl pick'ems,
wow.
so they haven't changed. So this was kind of their opening lines. I know it's changed a little bit. I think it's 3.5 now. Am I right?
And they're just sticking with the opening lines, huh?
That's the way it looks. So
wow.
yeah.
Well, Okay. I mean, I personally am going to take Ohio
Unless
as
you
well.
unless you want me to start going live lines, I can go out live lines.
Well, it should be whatever our pick'em is going by. So
Yeah.
it sounds like it's the set line. So
Yeah.
all right. So how I made my picks was looking at their strength of schedule, because I mean, some of these smaller conferences, they're not playing the best of competition, but some smaller conferences do. They're loaded with good competition. So here I also went with Ohio, looking at transfer portal as well and injuries to kind of make my decision. But Trent, you mentioned the running back. I think their wideout Miles Cross is also transferring. So like I said, I still think that they're going to kind of keep it together, win that game. Georgia Southern didn't really have a good strength of schedule, so that's why I went with Ohio.
Yeah. Kind of interesting, too. Correct me if I'm wrong, the live line is Ohio plus 3.5, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was confused.
That's why I'm confused, I get it. Okay. Because I'm looking at another resource right now, and they do have Ohio plus 3.5. I mean, I'd take Ohio minus 1.5, but I would definitely take Ohio plus 3.5 for sure.
That's wild.
So I'll kind of go back and forth with what the line is and then what we're picking, but then I'll also kind of update it too. So, all right, so we're all on Ohio for this one. The next one we got here, bowl wise, is we got the Cricket Celebration Bowl. The Cricket Celebration Bowl. All right, and what we're looking at here for the Cricket Celebration Bowl, we got Florida A&M and the Howard Bison.
I'm sorry. What was that bowl again?
The Cricket Celebration Bowl.
No, I was kidding.
No. We got Florida A&M Rattlers are minus 3.5 favorites on ESPN. That's the set in stone. It is minus. Wait, I don't even see it on here.
I think it's 6.5 right now.
Okay. For Florida A&M. So let's go. Let's just go with the ESPN. So we got minus 3.5 for the Rattlers, and plus 3.5 for the Bison. Where are you guys at?
I mean, I'm. This is a straight up game. I don't see any big name players that are sitting out. Florida A&M looked pretty tough throughout the year. I know 11-1 record, not playing necessarily the greatest schedule, but I'll take them minus 3.5 all day against Howard.
Okay. Trent?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, guys. I don't know. Wait. Do you hear that? That was my Rattler. I'm on the Florida A&M. I don't know how good that sounded, but
it sounded like a boiling teapot.
Tomato.
Yeah.
Florida A&M Rattlers. Raiders up 56-7. Life's good. Florida A&M Rattlers minus 3.5. Give them to me.
I'm on board. Not much to say. All right, that's where I'm at. All right, moving on to we got these.
It's like the R&L Carriers Bowl.
Yes, Carrier Bowl, and we have Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns and Jacksonville State Gamecocks. The ESPN line is minus 1.5 for Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm looking at the current line too, and I like comparing those, Tyler. I mean, that's also a good resource too. It's just seeing the line movement and finding reasons why that's happening. To me, the line moved in favor of Jacksonville, but that doesn't scare me away from the minus 1.5. I know they have Rich Rodriguez there in Jacksonville State. He's kind of building a culture, but I'm going to go with the Raging Cajuns here, minus 1.5.
Okay. Raging Cajuns, huh? Trent?
It is basically a home game for the Raging Cajuns, and I feel like every year that I bet against or pick against the Raging Cajuns, they come out and just annihilate the team that they're playing. However, not this year, boys. The Gamecocks of Jacksonville State, plus 1.5 for me.
Yeah, Trent. I'm also on Jacksonville State, and I am on the Rich Rod bandwagon. So, and again, that's kind of probably more McAfee influence because he loves Rich Rod because he played for him at WVU. But Jacksonville State's been tough this year, and if you can get them plus number, I'm definitely going to take them. So they play all their games pretty tough. So yeah, I'm on Jacksonville State as well. All right.
Let's
Next
do it.
one we got here.
Avocados from Mexico. You ever see those commercials?
Yeah, I'm just glad you just sung it like that.
Yeah, well, that's how they say it. That's the next bowl game. So,
All right, so we got the Cure Bowl. We got Appalachian State and Miami, Ohio. App State is -4.5 on ESPN.
I'm going Miami, Ohio. The Red Hawks +4.5.
Okay.
yeah, I'm also on that bandwagon too. I think Appalachian State got a lot of positive and like beneficial attention in terms of betting in the betting world when they beat JMU. And they're a good team, but I don't think they're as good as what they're made out to be. Miami of Ohio, on the other hand, has been pretty solid the whole entire year. So I'm going to go with them, +4.5.
Who did you say? I'm sorry.
Miami, Ohio.
You guys are both Miami. All right.
Yep. Mac, baby.
I am on. Sorry, I am on App State for this. Kind of, actually, a lot of the reasons that Trey you just talked about. I don't know. There's something about App State where they always play their games tough. I think they'll surprise. I think Miami played well most of the year. There was a couple games where they struggled a little bit to score, and I feel like sometimes App State can just kind of run the table with you. So I'm on App State.
But sounds like you're suffering from a bad case of recency bias, Tyler.
Yes,
no
terrible case. Terrible case.
All right, next one we got here. We got the New Mexico Bowl. We got Fresno State and the New Mexico State Aggies. Fresno State is +2.5 on ESPN.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like most people would be all over Fresno because of their high, they have a high octane offense typically, but New Mexico State is a tough football team, and I will be sticking with New Mexico State Aggies -2.5 in my pick here.
Okay.
Yeah, and I hate that we have the same bets trend and the same picks because that's exactly what I'm going with.
Why do you hate it? Why do you hate it? I literally give winners. I give winners.
I know. I just like going against you and arguing.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You won your first beer bet against me for the first time ever this week. So
not ever.
You don't. It was ever. But anyway, who's counting? Me.
Well, it's a start. Law of averages is going to even out here soon.
I don't think so. Not with my big brain.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, but I'm also on New Mexico State. Like Trent said, I think they're just like a very physical, rough around the edges kind of team, and that can throw off an offense like Fresno and really smack them in the mouth and take them off their game. So, I'm going with New Mexico State here -2.5.
All right, New Mexico State. I am again a little bit different than you guys.
Wow.
I know. I'm not gonna lie though. You know what this kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of when we did the tournament games.
Oh, here we go.
Kind of ran the table a little bit.
I would say you ran the table.
Dude, I got more than half of the games picked correct for the champion of the tournaments.
I thought it was conference champions.
That's what I'm saying. But in their conference tournaments.
Yeah, you know what they say, Tyler. Blind squirrels find nuts every once in a while.
Dude, this guy is like so full of faux pas.
Hey, Tyler. Tyler, a broken clock is right.
Yes.
2 times the day.
All right.
A day.
I'll keep it short and sweet here. I'm on Fresno. Period. They're gonna score a lot of points and they're gonna win. All right. Next we got the Starco Brands LA Bowl. We got Boise State and the UCLA Bruins. Boise State is listed at +2.5.
Yeah, that's easy for me. I'm taking UCLA -2.5.
Okay.
Boise State's quarterback is in the transfer portal. He's not going to play. Taylor Green, who's been pretty good for them this year. I feel like UCLA also has a couple guys in the transfer portal that aren't going to play, but I feel like the weapons surrounding the players that are leaving are a lot. I feel like UCLA's got more depth when it comes to that stuff. So, Chip Kelly, I think, is going to get his guys going for the bowl game. I think Boise State's going to struggle without their starting quarterbacks. That's why I'm going UCLA minus 2.5, less than a field goal. I think that's a steal.
Yeah. Trent?
Great minds think alike. I took not too much time to make this selection. I'm on the Bruins. I mean, it's a home game. Boise State, yes, they performed well in their conference championship game, but like Trey said, quarterback's out, which kind of probably leverages out the offensive advantage that Boise State does have statistically from the season. But UCLA shows to play much better defense, which is surprising to say.
It's usually
not that they're great on defense, but in the matchup, they actually hold better defensively. It is awkward to say about a Chip Kelly team, but yeah, I'm going UCLA, home game for them, SoFi Stadium.
Okay. I'm also UCLA. It does have to deal with quarterback in the transfer portal for me, because I do think Boise State's a decent team, but when you're starting to miss some key guys, I'm on UCLA for that. All right, next we got Texas Tech. Sorry, we have the Independence Bowl. We got the Texas Tech Red Raiders and the California Golden Bears. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit surprised to see Cal actually made a bowl game after watching some of their early games this season. But that being said, Texas Tech is minus 2.5 listed on ESPN for this.
Yeah. I am all over. I'm all over Texas Tech.
I am as well.
God, yeah, we all are then.
All right, run the table.
Can I pause this for a quick second? Not like legit pause. Did you just another defensive touchdown, guys? Like, what is going on right now?
Wow.
Like, hey, we might be one of the worst teams in the league this year, but I will take this type of shellacking on the Chargers.
Shellacking.
It's almost embarrassing. Like,
it's almost like they are protesting Staley.
That's what I mean. It almost looks like they're throwing this game.
Yeah. I'm cool with that.
That's the only way the Raiders would actually do this.
You know what? I was just gonna say it. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Careful, Trey. You know what he'll do.
Yeah. Come back with tens.
Yeah. All right, let's move to the next one here. We got the
Tyler. I will come back with, as Trey likes to say, no mercy.
Yeah, no mercy.
In the group chat.
Yeah,
my boss Trey over there. No mercy.
We'll get there. We'll get there, guys. We'll save this hostile NFL.
I'll share the context.
No, I have to.
Oh, wow.
All right, we got the famous Toastery Bowl here. Old Dominion and Western Kentucky. Got to say, Western Kentucky does have one of my favorite names, the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, hell of a mascot too. He's a chubby little red fuzzy thing. I'll tell you what.
Who we got, guys?
I'm actually, this is one of my first ones where I'm actually picking against the public. I'm actually gonna go Old Dominion in this case, plus 3.5 over with Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm 100% on that too.
Wow, Trey, you copycat.
Well, also the thing is, if you look at the current line movement, Old Dominion is 2.5 point favorite. So I mean, you go from getting over a field goal you go from less than a field goal to win by to getting over a field goal's worth of points. So, yeah, I'm also with you, Trent. Old Dominion. I think the public I think that percentage will change and they'll kind of catch up and even out. But yeah, I mean, can't beat that. Getting 3.5 points when they're now favorites. So,
hey, you know what they say? Three's a crowd. I am also Old Dominion, guys.
There it is.
Yep. All right, moving to the next one here. We got the Frisco Bowl. We got Marshall, and we got UTSA. Marshall.
Tyler, you start us.
All right, so we got Marshall at plus 8.5 here. I am on UTSA. They've been a team I've actually bet on quite often. I'm taking them at minus 8.5. I know that kind of seems a little steep, but I am going to take the UTSA Roadrunners.
Yeah, I was just going to say another classic mascot there.
Sorry, I'm just full of mascot noises tonight, guys.
Yeah. Tyler, I'm also going to echo you there. I'm going UTSA, the Roadrunners, minus 8.5.
Okay. Trent?
What do you got, Trent?
Guys, I cannot say I concur. I'm going to be on the opposite side here. 8.5 is it's steep, but now that I just for the first time pulled up the actual line right now, I might be in some trouble. But I took Marshall plus 8.5.
Yeah, the actual line. Do you see it? 13.
Oh,
13.
yes. That's awful.
Yep.
That is awful.
It's a little
But
steep.
you know what? Hey, I'm living on the edge. And Trey and I finally have a different pick.
It's true.
Yep. Marshall's going to be my difference maker to pull away.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
You will see.
You don't want to beer bet it?
No.
Uh-oh. Here, Trey, give him the 13.
No.
Uh,
Oh, look at that little.
I'll give him the 8.5.
Little wimp.
All right, why don't you meet in the middle? Give him 10.
All right, I'll give you 10.
No.
Really?
No. I don't. No. I'm not. Listen, I am not a blind beer better. Like, I am going to bet my beer on something that I'm confident in, something that or a team that I've watched, a team that I'm knowledgeable of, and these two teams I'm not very knowledgeable of
Trey,
at all.
Trey, what do you think? He kind of sounds like a backpedaling Betty over there.
Yeah, he does
Not
sound
sticking
like
to his team there. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nope, guys.
It's all right. Don't fall down the hill there, backpedaler.
Hey,
Yeah.
just pay up, Ty.
You got shin
Pay
splints,
up.
Trent?
Hey, pay up. Walking backwards actually feels great on shin splints.
I know, that's why I said that.
Mm.
All right, last one who got here that we're going to actually make our pick for. We got the Boca Raton Bowl. I think that's how you say it.
Boca
we got
Raton.
South
Ty,
Florida.
one more time, please. One more time.
Boca
One more
Raton
time.
Bowl. We got South Florida and Syracuse. ESPN line has Syracuse minus 4.5.
Ooh.
And I'll give you guys my pick. I am actually on South Florida plus 4.5. So I think South Florida might actually put it on Syracuse, but we'll see. So
I'm with you, Tyler. I think South Florida. I think South Florida wins that game straight up too. So I'm taking them with the points.
Well, boys, we will call this a triple play.
All right.
South Florida 4.5. Let's go.
All right.
I love it.
It is very interesting. Like, this is the first time we've actually done the bowl pick'em stuff. From like a public league. Usually it's all pick winners. It is very interesting to see that they literally have you picking the locked in lines, because just seeing how some of these lines have moved, it's like if you're one that can actually compare, contrast, and does look at the lines and see where they're at, I'll tell you what, man, it's very interesting to see. You might get an advantage,
I wish that they would have waited a little bit to lock in the lines. You know what I mean? Like more so like right before game time, but it's hard to do.
Guys, it's an uphill battle for them. I mean, with the amount of coaching changes, coordinator changes, transfer portal nowadays. I mean, you can't. It's impossible to truly cap.
No, that's not
bowl
true.
season.
Come
Trey,
on. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You better have the best of the best adjusting and making lines. That's how Vegas is not going to take the chance on something so popular as bowl games to lose money.
Okay,
they're going to be spot on every time.
I'm not saying. Hold on, Trey. I know that. I'm talking more so on our end of picking bowl games, because as people who really like dive into every single week of like college football and are really looking for the most ideal picks and following certain teams, those teams are different now with the personnel that they have and the coaches that they have. I mean, we're going to get to this game a little bit later, but you look at like Duke football being an underdog to a team that they're not even in a Power 5, although is the ACC a Power 5? I don't know anymore. But it's tough. I mean, you got 133 FBS teams, and there's 106 quarterbacks, probably now 107 in the transfer portal. So that's a pretty unbelievable statistic to pull.
It has become a free agency business. I mean, you almost at this point in time, and when you really think about like the way that free agency works, that's almost what they're going to have to start doing at the college level. You know, in some fashion. I don't know what that looks like, but like.
So, do these kids start to sign agents for college?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them actually have agents managing their NIL.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's where these kids, because they are kids, they better be careful because they sign off on a piece of paper to the wrong person.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to get. I mean, we talked about this in a previous episode. Look at the defensive tackle from Florida that went to the NFL. He literally owes an agent or an NIL deal that he signed in college. He owes them a percentage of his NFL contractual money because he didn't read the fine print.
Really?
Jeez.
That's awful.
Yeah. It's sad because there's people out there that take advantage. Don't get me wrong. I love that these guys can make money while playing football. I know this is another conversation, another time. I know some of us here disagree with it, but yeah, pay these guys because you know what? The only guys that keep getting richer are the heads of these schools, the heads of these conferences and TV companies. So let the kids that actually put the show on, make a little money at least on their name. Yeah. You're not paying them a salary. They're going out and seeking sponsorships essentially. Let them do it. Make some money off your name, image, and likeness. Whatever.
I don't know. Well, anything else here? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I agree with everything Trent said there. I do think that it's going to come to a point where push is going to come to shove with some of these schools and how much money they're giving all of their college players. Like, there's some schools that could literally pay their whole starting lineup probably $1 million with booster money. And I think you got to have some type of regulation. You have to. If you want to keep this viable and keep paying players somewhat, then you have to regulate it and it has to be controlled, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially a no salary cap.
Right.
Who has the most money? I mean, it's like your MLB baseball. Who has the most money? Who can pay guys?
And what you're going to keep seeing is headlines like, breaking news, so-and-so has the biggest NIL deal in college in NCAA history.
Right.
And so they're just keep one-upping each other like NFL quarterbacks and other contractual.
You did see the rumor. Now they're saying it's a rumor and it's ridiculous. But supposedly Marvin Harrison Jr. has an offer to stay at Ohio State. That now this is not 100% confirmed. It's speculation at this point. But he has an offer to stay at Ohio State that would pay him $20 to $25 million next year.
Jeez.
Which is as big of a year earnings than his dad has ever even made in his career.
That's nuts.
So you think about that, and that's Marvin Harrison. So yeah, but sorry to get us off track. I mean, it comes with the conversation of picking bowls, right?
Yep.
So it's fine. But let's. You guys want to get back into these picks?
That's it, Trent.
We're all done.
That's it.
Oh, what the hell? I'm like ready to go. I got my spreadsheet up. I'm ready to pick.
Well, hang on to that spreadsheet for next week, buddy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We could just roll, but like let's save some because that way it gives us a week. Then we got the next week, the bowls. We'll go lead into the next weekend. So.
I wanted to pick the playoff. I'm ready to go right now. I got bold statements. I got everything.
I can tell you who's winning the playoff right now.
Can I just tell you though that I don't know if we talked about it last week. I am frustrated though with the Heisman situation.
Well, yeah, because you're usually a Penix rider.
No, it angered me because in the past. It angered me in the
How
past
do you just brush that off? Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm ignoring it.
Because I think he's seriously upset about it.
I am upset about it because in the past, a guy loses 1 or 2 games, they have no chance at the Heisman. No chance. This guy loses 3 games. And I understand he had great stats. He could run, he could pass, he could do all these different things. All right, but at the same time, you get a guy like Michael Penix who had very similar passing stats to him. All right, and touchdowns. All right, not necessarily the rushing statistics that Jaden Daniels did, but he's also undefeated. He's undefeated. and I have trouble having the Heisman be a 3-loss guy, but that's just me. So I'm sorry.
The thing is, like, the only thing to counter that, Tyler, is that Daniel's stats were better than the majority of Heisman winners in the past.
Well,
and I was just, and Penix, he was undefeated, but a lot of those wins weren't because of him.
I don't know. The other thing that kind of frustrated me too is if you looked at, again, if you want to talk, if it's about stats, Marvin Harrison technically I think was second best statistically in college football in terms of wide receivers.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors was first.
So then why did Marvin Harrison Jr. get it and not him?
What, the Heisman?
Yeah, top 4. I'm saying, like, why was his name not in the top 4 but Harrison Jr. was?
Because you can argue that Neighbors' numbers were so good because of Jaden Daniels.
I don't know. I don't know. That's college football, man. Sometimes just frustrates the crap out of me. But all right.
Honestly, sports in general have been frustrating the crap out of me lately.
Yeah.
Well,
I love them. I love them, and I love talking about them, watching them, arguing, debating, and stuff. But some things it's just so frustrating.
Yeah.
Like NFL referees this year.
Yeah.
But that's also another conversation for later.
Well, I think we just, we're also in the midst of a little cold patch that we're overcoming, hopefully.
Yeah, we're overcoming.
Are we're 2-0 tonight, right?
2-0, yep. Waiting on...
Oh, there's a... Yep, no, that's Adam, sorry.
I know.
But yeah.
Yeah, so let's transition here to the NFL, but real quick first. We've been doing the Bearded Baker Brewstravaganza, which is a beer advent with some friends and family that we've actually been putting together where each person contributes a different kind of beer. We kind of mix and match the cases. We're using this as an opportunity, though, to really kind of get into what we were calling the Bearded Baker Brewviews, which we'll get into. We're going to eventually start putting out small clips, probably on Instagram and things like that, just reviewing a beer or two or so, every so many weeks or so. Sorry, every so many days. Beer tonight that we were brew viewing for the Brewstravaganza was actually the Sierra Nevada Fresh Hop IPA. Any of you guys have any input or thoughts, or do you enjoy it, taste, etc.? If you guys want to, real quick, I mean, I can even give the background, but it is an IPA. It's been around since about 1981. I think was the first time that it was brewed. Brewed with Cascade Centennial Chinook hops, a little bit of caramelized malts, and a little bit of citrus and pine flavors. So
yeah, you forgot a key part of that name, Tyler. It's the celebration.
Sorry, what did I?
Fresh hop. The celebration fresh hop IPA.
Celebration. I'm sorry.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Sierra Nevada. I think they're like a staple in the IPA world or in the craft beer world in general.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm more of like a juicy, hazy IPA fan. This is more of like an American or even West Coast style IPA. I kind of get more of like the malts than I do the hops.
Yep.
Like I know when it's malt heavy, it does kind of have like a caramely taste that kind of just sits on your tongue. Not that I don't like it, but it's just not my type of IPA. Overall, I think it's decent. The more you have, the better it is, like most beers. But I just wish it's a 6.8. The way it tastes, it's like the way it sits and how heavy it is. You'd think it'd be like an 8%er, but overall, I think it's a pretty decent beer.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. I definitely got the caramel flavor on it too. Not a bad beer, enjoyable to drink. But again, I'm kind of Trey. I'm on the same boat. I don't really get a whole lot of pine. I definitely get the caramel.
Right. When I'm hearing citrus, that kind of threw me for a loop because I don't taste an ounce of citrus in here. What do you think, Trent?
Well, I'll tell you what. Beautiful can, little log cabin, snow on the roof, cute, very cute. But I'll tell you what, it's not awful. Like I'm usually not an IPA fan that has the caramel like tones to it, which really comes from the malt, right? Mm-hmm. But it's weird because it's like enough of the initial hit I'm actually being serious when I say this, but the initial hit on the back of your tongue gives me pine.
Really?
Like, it's pine.
I don't get pine at all, man.
I get
That's
the
weird.
initial hit, back sides of the tongue, pine, and then it finishes in the mouth. Wow. I actually really did not mean to. Finishes the rest of the mouth.
This is a beer review, guys.
Yeah, this is good,
So,
Trent.
so everyone knows. Yeah. Not
It
Trent
hit-
Saturday nights.
A lot of. That's good. Oh, wow. Touche. It's a lot of caramel.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
that was good.
I'm sorry. I'm really struggling to finish now without laughing too hard. Yeah, it's good. I'm sorry. I really screwed up with that slip up.
Dude, it was perfect. Oh, man.
It's good though. Yeah. But
It's good. It's good.
it's the aftertaste of caramel that throws me off.
Oh, man. This is going to be a good one to listen to tomorrow. Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Oh yeah. Well,
Right.
I like the beer. I like the beer overall. Okay, but just not my favorite.
All right. Let's.
Sounded like it was.
Yeah.
Shut up, Trey.
All
That
right.
was awful. I can't believe I said that. I literally
Oh my gosh.
I got like my stomach dropped as soon as I said that. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Got to take that one back.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right. Well, hey, let's jump into the NFL here. That's a good brew view for the first one. Huh? It's a good,
Yeah, I screwed up.
good stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully we do this segment again.
Right. Trent's gonna write shit down next time so he doesn't.
I am
he's gonna
having
sound
it
like a
written
computer.
out. I'm going to read it. The hops were delicious. The end.
Oh man.
All right, let's visit the NFL here. What do you guys want to do? You want to look at some headlines? Let's look at some of the past games last week, upcoming games. I mean, obviously the big game, which again we're watching currently, but from last night, if you guys listened to us here Friday, was the Raiders just complete utter dominance of the Chargers, literally dominance.
So I have a question regarding this game, the Raiders Chargers. That is just an absolute blowout. Who does it say more about? Which team, the Raiders or the Chargers?
I think.
I'm gonna say it says more about the Chargers.
Yeah.
I also agree with that.
Just, I mean, I don't know. The Raiders kind of seem to be the tough team to figure out. It's like they look really good one week, and then all of a sudden last week, they got shut out, and then now they're, in the 60s, and it's like I do think that this says a lot about the Chargers. I know they're missing Herbert. I get it. But geez, like
This is bad.
it's bad, like really bad. So
Yeah, I mean, it's a Raiders team with a rookie Aiden O'Connell playing quarterback
yeah,
versus Easton Stick. And then, I mean, this is a Raiders team doing this without Josh Jacobs.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And-
true. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Let's be real. I mean, who besides Max Crosby can you really name on the Raiders defense right now, too?
Right.
Spillane.
So,
Yeah,
and yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. As a Raiders fan, I can, but it's just these are two really bad teams right now, and you're right. This says a lot more about the Chargers saying, maybe we could expedite this process and say we're not responding to Staley at all anymore. Make the
Yeah,
change now.
Like I said, if he doesn't go after this game, he's got some blackmail on somebody in this franchise because you just can't do this. If you're already on the hot seat and then you lose 63 to 14 right now is what the score is. That how do you survive that?
See, and here's the thing though, is I almost feel like this year, like we've talked about the hot seat with coaching staffs, but I feel like this year more than any, we've talked about there's so many on the hot seat, but like there hasn't been a ton let go.
That's what's confusing, Tyler.
And I feel like teams are like waiting until the end of the year But and I guess it's like what benefits you get of letting a guy go early, and what benefits you get of just waiting and seeing what happens. I don't know that answer, unless you're saying like, listen, as opposed to just paying you free money, we're gonna make you work your ass off to, even though you suck, we're still gonna hold you accountable. Like you still have to do a job. That's the only thing I can think of. I have no clue though.
But also, Ty, if a president of a team sees, hey, we're pretty bad, we don't have a shot at making the playoffs, maybe they're riding this out of the hopes because there's a pretty deep quarterback class coming out.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just
but the Chargers aren't in it for the quarterback class though.
No, you're right. Not in that sense at all, but I'm just saying, it's like, it just makes you wonder. So maybe they're in it for another big time name. Maybe they're in it for freaking Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
You know, like there's some this draft more than ever. There's some very good offensive linemen, very good wide receivers. Yeah. You know, we talk a lot about the quarterbacks, but this is going to be a pretty deep wide receiver class. I mean, the kid out of LSU, his name's slipping my mind right now. He lost was it Bolitnikoff Award? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
For receivers by one vote to Marvin Harrison Jr. One vote.
Should have won.
So it's like, I'm not disagreeing, Trey. I'm not disagreeing. He had the better quarterback thrown to him, though.
Well, then so you talk about him. You talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. You talk about Adunze from Washington, who's a decent wide receiver too. It's like
Keon Coleman from Florida State.
Yeah. There's some talent. You're right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Like I can't figure that out because I know they've already said Staley's going to wait it out, and I think they said the same thing about Ron Rivera too. I don't get it, man. I still think Washington. Did we say? Did Washington have a bye last week?
I have no clue. They're so awful. I don't even pay attention to them anymore. It's a joke.
I don't know.
I don't know if they did or not. Actually,
guys, you can get tickets to like Redskins games for $20.
Or the Commanders.
Get real quick. Oh, yeah, sorry. I let slip up. Jeez. Anyway, the other thing, I'll talk about ticket prices. I don't know if you guys saw this. Yeah. There are tickets for Panthers games going for 45 cents a ticket.
Yep.
Jeez.
Now, after ticket fees, it'll probably be about like $230. But, you know, like, oh, the state charge. Oh, you signed onto a computer charge. We sent you an email charge. But seriously, 45 cents a ticket right now to go see an NFL. Like, I'll be honest with you, if you're a local person who loves the Falcons or loves the Panthers, like, I hope, like, somebody is taking their kids to go see the game. That's an experience, man. I know it's not good football, but that's a heck of an experience. I mean, I can count on one hand how many NFL games I went to. So go if you're in Carolina, go.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if they're playing a decent team.
So, I mean, in that conference, they're all, I guess, decent in the NFC because I mean, who knows? They're gonna make sub 500. But
here we go.
So hey, I would like to kind of bring up. The big rumor this week was obviously coming out of New England that they have officially agreed to part ways in New England with Bill Belichick after the season. I did text you guys the rumor.
Yeah, that was nuts.
And again, I don't know if there's any ounce of truth to it. It's out there on X, but supposedly Belichick wants to go home to Nashville. Doesn't again. I'm not saying he's taking Vrabe's job, but I think if he's going to Nashville, I'll tell you what, Vrabe's going to hire him as a D coordinator.
You know what? That would be awesome.
Yeah, why not,
if he
dude?
did do that.
Why not?
Because I think Belichick could just kind of forget about the GM, the draft, everything like that. Yep. Just go to a franchise and solely focus on defense.
Yep.
The Titans would actually be scary, I think.
Seriously, can you imagine that? You got Vrabes as your coach, and then you got Belichick, not even as your head coach. You got him as your D coordinator.
Just a D coordinator. That's all he does. And I think that's what he wants to do. I think he's sick and tired of
the hoopla,
being the guy blamed, not succeeding there for the last couple of years, getting the Tom Brady comparisons. Let him start fresh and just be focus on his defense.
Well, and And
Trey, I thought for a second you were going to break out into like a Creed song. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. 6 feet from the edge, you know.
I do.
With arms wide open.
Yeah.
I think you know.
Are we getting on Lightning Racer right now, Trey? What the hell?
With as much as the Titans have struggled too this year, I do think they have a guy in Will Levis. Dude's a baller. I mean, I don't know if you saw the T-shirts, Angry Will Run or something like that, or Run Angry Will or something. Like the dude. I don't know. He plays like he's insane. Like not in a bad way, like in a good way. You still have Derrick Henry there. I think you're missing a lot of holes, but I think you're also going to get some decent draft picks this year too. So, this is not their year, but I think if you can start to put the pieces together there, I think they'll be all right in the upcoming years.
I agree with that.
Because in reality, I think did they make the playoffs last year? I think
there was 1 year they were like the 1 seed like 2 or 3 years ago.
I think it was 2 years ago, and then last year I think they just snuck in. And this was really kind of their first down year for a little bit. So I think Levis is a guy, so I think they'll be okay. I think they figured that out.
Wasn't like first play of the game last year or something? Tannehill threw an interception right to a linebacker.
Dude, yeah, like he's done.
Yeah,
he's done. He had his Jared Goff moment for a little bit, but
wow.
What?
I think Jared Goff. Do you think he had his moment already, huh?
No, I'm saying Tannehill did. Goff's kind of in the midst of it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Dude, I will say this, Trey. If you look at the NFC playoff picture right now, you have 3 teams in right now from your division.
Yeah, we do.
You got the Lions, you got the Vikings, you got the Pack right now, all in the playoffs.
Yeah, so that kind of brings me to another. I just want to go. I know it's kind of overplayed and stuff, but I'm genuinely curious about what you guys think about some of these teams. So we're going to do like a playoff pretender and playoff contender.
Okay.
All right. So I'm just going to list some teams, and I want you guys to tell me whether or not you think they legitimately have a chance to make the playoffs, or that they will, or whether this is just like they're riding a hot streak right now.
Okay.
First team, the LA Rams.
Pretender. Yeah, they're not legit.
Okay.
They're catching some luck.
So you don't think that their offense with that wide receiving core, Stafford, Aaron Donald still?
No. No, I honestly, I mean, you say about Aaron Donald, nobody's talked about him this year.
Yeah.
Like at all. He's been quiet.
Yeah, but he's still having a great year for a defensive tackle. Like, just because he's not having an Aaron Donald type year.
He's been pretty disruptive.
Yeah, right, but what I'm saying is like, I don't know. I don't. Stafford doesn't look the same. Like Stafford doesn't look like Stafford, where he's able to throw the ball 60 times a game. Like he looks like Matt Ryan did near the end of his career.
Yeah, but the thing with like you don't want like when Stafford was throwing 60 times a game, is because he was playing from behind.
No, he
the
wasn't.
Lions all those years.
No, I'm talking about with the Rams.
I know, but I think that Matt Stafford was more of a Rams a Lions when he played with them.
Yeah.
And with the Rams, they have a pretty solid running back, a young guy in that Kyron Williams.
Agreed. I think they're pretenders. Who's next?
All right. Next is the Denver Broncos.
Trent, go ahead.
They are going to be in the playoffs, but they're not going to make any noise in the playoffs.
Well, that's okay. So you're calling them contenders. I'm talking about playoff. Like we're talking teams that are in the hunt, in the wild cards currently.
Okay, so they're not contending for a Super Bowl. They're just contending. Oh, then Broncos are a contender. They're in the playoffs.
Pretenders. Russell Wilson showed his true colors a couple weeks ago when he threw 3 picks again. So that's who Russell Wilson really is.
You're such a Wilson hater.
Never liked him. Never liked him.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna go. Well, first of all, I think the Rams. I think they are contenders. Actually, they're the one team that actually kind of worries me. Even though the Packers beat them, thank God. don't know. And for the Broncos, I think they're pretenders. Because I think the one team that I'm going to ask you guys, I mean, I would hope it's unanimous. I think it would be unanimous. I think the team that's going to get in that's similar to them is the Buffalo Bills.
Oh. Whew.
What do you guys have to say about them?
You think the Bills get in?
Absolutely. They should.
Man. I don't know.
I think if they beat the Cowboys here this week, they absolutely make the playoffs.
I mean, something's definitely been different. I know we really reamed the Bills out a couple weeks ago with the bullshit of them firing their offensive coordinator when their defense was the reason that they lost.
Yeah.
But I can't help but like look at the team and think that Josh Allen's playing a little bit different the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
So I mean, maybe there was something there, you know. And I still think it was stupid, but yeah, they definitely they've come around a little bit, but I mean, they're kind of in the boat of like almost is it too little, too late kind of thing. So I don't know because they're still what 6-7, right?
7-6.
7-6. So I don't know. I think they could be contenders. I think if they make the playoffs, though, I don't think they do much.
Okay.
I think maybe win first round, but that's about it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll say contenders.
I think they're contenders. Trent?
I'm with them. I'm with the Bills being. I mean, I just think with Josh Allen, they always have to be a contender. You know, like until I mean, you have too much talent there to be a pretender. I do agree to somewhat where Trey earlier in an earlier episode you said they do have some bad freaking luck this year. Like don't get like I agree with that. I still don't think if the Bills meet the Chiefs in the playoffs, I still don't believe the Bills are going to be able to do what they did this past week in Arrowhead again. There's no way.
It's got to be an Arrowhead, though.
It's going to be an Arrowhead.
We'll see.
If they play each other, it would be.
Yeah, guys, like, they're not going to win their division. Like the Bills aren't going to win their division.
Are the Chiefs though?
All right, that's my point.
Yeah, yes, the Chiefs will win their division.
I think there's a little upset. There might be an upset this week with the Chiefs.
No, one last team before I want to talk about that Chiefs game and some of the headlines surrounding that too. Last team that I want to mention is the Minnesota Vikings.
Who?
Pretenders through and through. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Nick Mullins is starting at quarterback this week.
Right, but right
Mullins.
now they have a wild card playoff spot locked up.
Not even just a 7; they have a 6.
Yeah.
That's the joke. You guys sit there and you're not going to tell me that's a joke that a team gets to play a Vikings team that could only score 3 points. Yes, they held the Raiders to 0. They could only score 3 points against the Raiders. And you're going to tell me them against any division winner, them against the Niners, them against the Eagles, them against the Cow. Like that's a terrible. Like I'd be disappointed to watch that during Wild Card Weekend. That's a joke. Yeah, that's what I'm saying when I sit there and say like, look at the playoff teams. Like, don't get me wrong. I know the Steelers and the AFC are a playoff team. I think that's a joke, and that's not going to come to fruition. They're pretenders, so I'll jump ahead of you, Trey.
Browns aren't pretenders.
Yes, but I will say this, Tyler. They are. Well, hold on. I think they are because they lost Nick Chubb and their starting quarterback, but
they're still winning games. They're 8-5. They have the same record as the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah,
without a starting quarterback and running back.
Because that defense is 100% legit.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying.
I actually think that I know he won't win it, and I know you guys are going to be like, oh, come on, there's so many better guys. But I actually think that Browns coach deserves some sort of mention for Coach of the Year with what he's doing with right now. You lose your franchise running back. you don't have a well, I guess technically Deshaun Watson's their franchise quarterback with how much they paid him, right?
Right.
And I'm just saying, and they are still like I said, they're in the playoffs. So I look at the Steelers and I look at the Browns, and I would say that they are so much better of a football team than the Minnesota Vikings are right now.
Here's a question.
The Steelers?
I do, Trey, because I think their defense is more elite when they have T.J. Watt.
When?
I don't know, man. Here's a hypothetical, real quick. Let's say the Browns have Baker Mayfield instead of Deshaun Watson.
Or Joe Flacco.
I'm saying with this defense.
Well, Tyler, I think Baker I think his welcome was done. Like, he needed that. Like,
he needed a change of scenery for sure.
Yeah, I don't think they would be doing well. Like, I think it was just too much criticism on him that. Yeah, I don't think they would be doing what they're doing if Baker was there.
Okay.
But I like what Baker's doing down in
Tampa.
Yeah, I think they're doing all right there, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, gosh, I just guys, don't you find it crazy that Joe Flacco did what he did, and then they put him on the practice team?
Nope, he's back.
Did they sign him back?
They signed him today. Schefter reported. There's a lot of stipulation money and all that stuff. Yeah, he's no longer on the practice squad anymore.
Wow.
I think they signed him because I think they feared a little bit the fact that, he's still a guy. I mean, the guy won a Super Bowl when he was with Baltimore.
Well, let's be real. Some team could have swooped in and picked him up.
And that's why I think they signed him.
The Jets.
Yeah. Which, can I, real quick, Trey, I don't know, Trey, do you have anything else? Because I do have a segue here to that.
I just want to talk about the embarrassment that the Chiefs franchise and some of their players and coaches displayed after that Bills game, because you can sit there and cry and yell at the refs, and trust me, I'd probably back you up 9 times out of 10 criticizing the refs this year, but
or 10 times out of 11, huh?
Yeah, that too. But to hear them cry about you can't call that penalty right there, blah, blah, blah. Like someone said it best. If you're gonna cry about when a penalty is called and everything like that, well, then you wouldn't have a Super Bowl last year.
Well, right? And that also right there, that comment, you can't call a penalty at that time in the game. You're admitting it's a penalty. And that is the most bullshit statement I've heard. And that right there is the epitome of the referees this year.
Right. I just thought it was very rich coming from that team. And trust me, I was happy with the outcome of the Super Bowl last year, and I had no complaints about that call because it favored not who I wanted. But to hear it coming like out of their mouths and complaining about stuff like that is just so like it's ironic, is what it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and I really thought. I mean, I don't like Mahomes as it is, but I lost a ton of respect for him after his thing with Josh Allen.
Oh yeah,
like
that was dude, like
get off your high horse and go back to the locker room and quit your.
You know how many tough breaks Josh Allen had against that Chiefs team, and he always lost with class.
And Mahomes is literally given everything. Just ask Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah. Well, Chris Collinsworth gives him everything too.
Yeah, I know.
Well, little OTPHJs.
All right.
Whoa.
Hey, you never know.
Oh God! I tried to help you, Trey. I tried to help you, and he just was like, I'm saying it anyway. Oh man! All right.
Dang.
Anyway, no, you're right though. They get every call.
I will, and this is coming from a Raiders fan who absolutely hates the Chiefs, hates everything about them, except Coach Nagy. But he did apologize.
I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care that Andy. I don't. And I thought Andy Reid was out of line in his press conference.
Andy Reid criticized the NFL. The league should be embarrassed.
Yeah, like come on, dude. Like it was a penalty.
For calling a penalty, they should be embarrassed.
Like come on, man.
Like how entitled does that sound?
Exactly. That's my point. That's where it goes back to the referees. Hold on a second. I thought these guys were going to make these calls for us this week. Why'd they make the calls against us this week? That's not right.
Exactly.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Well, can I change this up here off the Chiefs topic?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Can I ask you guys a question? Should the Eagles, after being outscored the past 2 weeks, 75-32, should they be tapping that panic button right now?
As a 5 seed?
Wow. Ooh. That was a shot. That was a shot at the Eagles.
I was saying.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Elaborate.
it is true though. Like they should be tapping the panic button because, I mean, I've been saying it since the beginning, before the season started. But maybe they got to take a look at, like, yeah, Jalen Hurts is athletic. He's a winner. He's disciplined. He's got the right attitude to be successful in the NFL. He's a hard worker. But does he have the skill? Like, it all comes down to, like, being a legitimate, full, like, talented quarterback. And I really don't think he's even in the top 10.
But he's an MVP candidate, Trey.
And that's an absolute joke.
Wow.
It's an absolute joke.
Not a top 10 quarterback.
Okay, I'm going to try to list some more. In terms of talent and skill, I mean, the Eagles have the best roster besides the 49ers in the league. So, I mean, again, that helps as a quarterback too. But I would say Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. It's not Brock Purdy, Tyler, so don't look at me like that.
Unbelievable. You're ridiculous. You just lost your argument.
I would say Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott. Who else? Trevor Lawrence.
You're not going to put the number one quarterback in all categories in the last 2 years in there, huh?
Tyler,
it's absurd. That is absurd. You would probably put Jordan Love up there, wouldn't you?
Tyler, he's a product of the. No, I don't want to. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to.
You're ridiculous.
But, I mean, yeah, maybe. Matt Stafford, I would put up there. Lamar Jackson.
No. Not Matt Stafford, Trey. Come on.
I would. Heck, I'd even put Jared Goff.
Here's what I tell you the Eagles' problem is. They don't run the football. They don't run the football.
I agree.
They don't set up. I don't think they put Jalen Hurts in a good position to actually win because the passes all open up based off of the run. And when he's the one that, and this goes back to I think it was the first year Sirianni took over, and they weren't dominant like they are the last 2 years. And it was because Jalen Hurts was like trying to do everything, like literally everything. And I think that's what it's gotten back to, where it's like the guy he's a great leader. I think he's a great football player. I do think he's a top 10 quarterback. But I don't think they're putting him in a position again to be successful because they're not running the ball. Like it's either he's running the ball because he's scrambling for his life, or he's trying to drop back and throw it to one of his stud receivers, and it's not always successful. So I think, and you have a good running back in DeAndre and Swift.
Gainwell even.
Right, but I'm saying and they're not running the ball, so therefore, what you're seeing is that the last couple of weeks it's really caught up to them because they're getting predictable. That's what's happening is they're getting predictable. And I also think that the last 2 weeks they also met two high-powered offenses that are not going to let you hang around a whole lot in San Fran and in Dallas, where they were able to go up pretty big on them, and the Eagles have really thrived on coming back in the last 6 minutes of the game every week. And when you let a team like that hang around, yeah, they're going to be successful. They're going to get a lot of wins, and they did. But when you got a team like San Fran, it's up 42-19, and you got a team that's in Dallas, it's up 33-13. Like, you can't come back from that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what they finally found. It's catching up to them.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that Bills game was kind of handed to them.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Too. So I mean, there should be 3 losses in a row. But
well, and the reason, guys, why they might also have to be in a little bit of a panic is last time they beat the Seahawks was the year 2008.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they have lost. And they have since 2008 they've played them 7 times.
Huh.
So
7 times, really?
Yeah. Yeah, they played in 2011, 14, 16, 17, 19, and then they played twice in 2020. And the Seahawks have gotten them in every single matchup. So
it's been 14 years.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, that's and it's in Seattle this weekend. So like, I'm interested to see. Like, I don't think Seattle's defense is that great.
Right?
Is Geno Smith playing?
So the last update was that he's feeling great and there's hope that he could play this weekend. I mean,
if it's Drew Lock, there's no way.
No. Agreed. Agreed. Drew Lock is not going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. You're right. But yeah, I just think it's very interesting, but it also goes to show you how quick the sports world can turn on you too.
Yeah.
Like when they're 10-1 and they haven't played, the Niners yet or the Cowboys a second time. I mean, everybody was like, "Oh, Eagles," and now it's like even us. I mean, we're talking about it. Should they be hitting the panic button? So It's crazy how quick the sports world can turn on you. And yeah, I'm anxious to watch that game.
I would like to give a little fun fact. I was a little tough on Jalen Hurts there. Undeservedly, he's been great since he's been a starting quarterback. If he beats, I just don't think he's as good as what people make him out to be. But if he does beat the Seahawks this weekend, he'll beat every NFC team.
Huh.
Except for the Eagles. So pretty cool. He's only 25 years old. Be able to say that as a starting quarterback, but still, it'll be interesting to see how the Eagles pan out the rest of the year, and if they do get back on track. To be honest.
Yeah, the Seattle game is definitely going to. Yeah, I have that circled. I mean, because that is going to tell a lot. We'll see if
Well, it's the last game of their gauntlet, quote unquote, if you want to consider that one of the games. But
I think their gauntlet's already done.
Well, I would say at the beginning of the start of the gauntlet, the Seahawks would have been considered one of the games, but they lost a couple in a row too that don't look the same.
No, they don't. But you know what though? At the same time, it's like they show spurts here and there where it's like, oh boy, like even last week when San Fran was playing them, after watching Seattle against Dallas, I'm like, all right, like I know we already beat them pretty handily like a week ago, but like. I wasn't 100% confident. I was confident, but like at the same time, they always play us tough. So
yeah,
that's that is what it is. But yeah, there's definitely a couple good matchups this week. I would like to we don't have to spend a ton of time on it, but I would like to say that there is one team that clinched the playoffs this week, and that is the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, And that kind of brings us full circle to why I texted Tyler and said, "No mercy" over the weekend in our group chat. It wasn't like dark.
It was pretty dark.
Following the Monday night heartbreak loss that I witnessed, Packers-Giants game, within Trent, what was it? 4 minutes of the game being over, Tyler sends a tweet screenshot of. With the Packers lost tonight, the 49ers now clinch, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, I just thought it was a little uncalled for. Still fresh wound from that game. And
I'd like to tell you the whole story, Trey.
Now, hold on.
Hold on. Can I tell you the whole story real quick? Because this makes sense. I texted that to Trent only.
He did.
And Trent responded with, "Wimp. LOL."
I did. I didn't tell him to text you, but I was like, wow, you're going to...
That's what he did. I texted it to Trent out of respect for you first, Trey.
Interesting.
And Trent said, "Wimp, LOL." And that's when I sent it to you.
Do you want to hear? That's funny. So
That's the whole
Hold
story.
on.
So
Can I just
there's a catalyst, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let me.
Tyler, guess what Trent texted me tonight right before the podcast started.
I did.
Here we
I
go.
did text him this.
A look through 49ers Jimmy Garoppolo 2019 season, his first 13 games, and Brock Purdy's season through his first 13 games. 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 3,200 yards. Jimmy G was 11-2. Brock Purdy was 25 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 3,500 yards, 10-3. Looks like there's a theme in San Francisco, and it's having great average regular season quarterbacks that can't get the big game done.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, I also just watched an entire Jimmy G for the San Francisco 49ers and Brock Purdy video comparison, and it was kind of eye opening to see some of the throws.
I don't think it's something to brag about.
No, it was to see some of the throws that Brock's making versus Jimmy couldn't, and it was interesting. Because there were a lot of times where I'm like, Jimmy, what are you doing? Like, why are you how are you overthrowing that bad? How are you missing this? And he's also, he's not mobile. It's like, it was very like, and don't get me wrong, I was one of the biggest Jimmy G fans. Like,
yeah, he called him a top 5 quarterback ever.
No, statistically.
That is kind of funny. Statistically, Jesus.
That's what I said.
Tyler, he's not even in the conversation at all.
It wasn't 5, it was 10.
He's an emergency quarterback for the Raiders who just won 63-14 tonight.
I know. Well, he's not in a good system anymore.
Oh, thank you. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, Ty, you just.
Trent, I did it on purpose.
Not really.
Yeah.
You just fed into your argument with him.
No,
Sorry.
I
Thank you,
literally.
Trent.
Do you not see me smile after I said it?
Yeah, because you realize you screwed up.
No, I go, he's not in the same system anymore.
No one else could see you smile either, so.
No. Once we go video podcast, just wait. That's coming.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Guys, I'll tell you what. I am a catalyst. For some reason, all the Packers and Niners statistics come to me and my feed and within my research, and I'm just like, what the heck? Like, Trey needs this today. This is like exactly what backs up what he said. And I did, honestly, like I'm owning up to that. But Tyler texted me that after we pretty much, even like if we just have to like say something to one of each other, like we still text in our group chat. And he happens to shoot me that text of, oh, look at this, like, because the Packers lost, and now the Niners clinched. And I was like, wow, wimp. Like,
Yeah, that was literally, he didn't even say like, wow, that's crazy.
I did.
It was just wimp
all
LOL.
I said was wimp, laugh out loud. Like,
Yeah.
of course he said it only to me, not the group, because I
Because,
knew what would
because
happen.
Trey, and it was out of respect for you, because if you'd have done that to me,
Out of respect, but then Tyler, I was like, here's the
don't
best
challenge
part.
me.
Well, Todd,
So-
did I not go like, I'm just kidding, laugh out loud, and then you already texted it to
Yeah,
me,
because
Trey,
he did wimp
in the
LOL,
group.
and then I sent it to you, Trey.
And I was like,
and then he
I'm
goes, "No, just
kidding.
kidding, don't do that." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, that's too late, bud."
And then
Well,
I had
earlier,
the
during the Eagles-Niners matchup, I texted and said something about the refereeing. Not even a direct thing about the Niners or about the Eagles getting the calls or anything like that. And Tyler sends me a serious, please stop texting me if you have nothing nice to say. Thank you. Please. Thank you. So when he texted me that 3 minutes after the Packers lose in a heartbreak of a game and a playoff implication game, I got furious. I got really heated.
yeah.
And I told Tyler there's no mercy from now on. I said, you better hope the 49ers win the Super Bowl, because within 3 minutes after they lose whatever game they lose in, you're getting a text message, buddy. And I'm not going to feel bad at all.
Now you know the whole story, though. I was trying to do it out of respect, but
I would not,
You can't-
Trey. I would not rub a Super Bowl loss in anybody's face.
Oh, it's fair. That's why I said no mercy, Trent.
Ooh,
Trey,
that's
my
tough.
boss, Trey.
Well, it doesn't matter because the Niners, they already pretty much won the Super Bowl.
I know. We'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll win.
You better be.
Stop trying to reverse jinx it, because I know that's what you're trying to do, and it will not work, because I do believe that we will. All right.
I know,
Anyway,
and
all right. Let's move into a couple games this week. You guys got picks this week?
I do have some picks. I got 4 picks actually.
It's kind of nice. There's no bye week this week, so there's a lot of games.
Yeah,
Saturday games.
Three Saturday games.
Yes, indeed. So I'll rattle mine off real quick, guys. I got DeVito and the Giants +6 at the Saints. I think they can do it. I got Seahawks. Prove me wrong. I got Seahawks +3 at home versus the Eagles.
Wow. That's interesting.
I know the Jags are desperate and need to win because they've lost, I think, 2 in a row. But I'm still going to take. I think the Ravens' offense is starting to look pretty good with Odell Beckham Jr. He's hitting his stride right now in Baltimore. So I'm taking Ravens -3.5 at Jacksonville, and then yet again I know you guys are going to both hate on this pick, but I'm taking Cowboys +1.5 at Buffalo this week.
No, it is +1.5.
Yep.
Plus two,
1.5.
+2 on DraftKings, Trent.
I will take them +2.
Yep.
2. Yep. Let's go. Those are my 4. I do have a 5.
Uh-oh.
A 5-fingered. Sorry, 5-legged B teaser.
All right. You want to give that, or you want us to do our picks and then you can come to your teaser?
We'll save the teasers for last.
All right. Trey, you want me to go?
Yeah, you got it.
All right. I'm going Colts money line against the Steelers. They are -1.5, which I actually might take that even too. But definitely Colts over the Steelers, especially with Watt out this week. This might come as a little bit of a surprise. I'm taking Patriots +8 against the Chiefs.
I'm seeing 8.5, Tyler, if you want that.
And I'll take that. I don't know. There's something, I don't know. Something with that game doesn't sit well with me. I did see that Pacheco also might be out now for the Chiefs, which definitely is an X factor. I am also going with the... Hold on. I'm going Eagles -3. So, Trent, I'm a little bit different than you on the Seahawks-Eagles game. And then I'm also going to go... I'm going to go Texans +3 against the Titans. So,
Okay.
I know the Titans are kind of coming around, but I still think the Texans are a pretty decent team. And I think if you're getting them at +3, I think you can do all right. So, that's where I'm running.
All right. I like a couple games. I'm going to go Dolphins -9.5. I'm going to go Rams -6.5. And then I'm going to go Jaguars +3.5. So we got the Dolphins play the Jets, got them 9.5-point favorites. I took the Rams over the Commanders, 6.5-point favorites. And the Jaguars, home underdogs against the Ravens, +3.5.
All right. Like it. All right,
I also got a BTs.
All right.
You guys want to hear it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Trey.
Mine is a 5-legger as well. I'm gonna go. All right, so we got under 52.5 points. The Broncos and the Lions. Bears +8. Under 44.5 points. Giants Saints. Under 42.5 points. Texans and Titans, and the Rams -1.5, which goes against my rule of teasing down a favorite to still a favorite, but I think the Rams handle the Commanders, and I think this is the game that gets Rivera fired.
Of all the games, this will be the game.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Calling it.
I don't dislike it. That was a pretty good fist. Fist.
Yep.
So I also am on the five-legger here. So I did all spreads for my teaser, plus 6.5 for it. So I have Lions +2, Giants +12.5, Cowboys +8, Ravens +3, Seahawks +9.5. And that comes out to be plus 290 odds.
Wow. All right. Mine just went away. I'm sorry. All right. I got a 5-legger.
Woo! There we go. Let's go. Fists across the board.
Yeah, that's right.
Knuckle bros.
plus 333. We're looking at 6-point tees. I got the Colts plus 4.5. I got over 31.5 points in the Jets and Dolphins game. I got the Niners minus 6.5, Giants plus 12, and Cowboys plus 7.5. That's my tees.
All right.
I like it. I like it.
Sure. Mine was a 5.5 legger. My odds were plus 470.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I forgot to mention that before I listed off my picks.
I like it.
Sweet.
Like them all, guys. I'll tell you what, NFL's a little tough on us last weekend, but
It's been tough. It's been tough for a while.
it's tough across the board. But
Yeah.
hey, can I just drop some quick college basketball knowledge before we wrap this thing up here?
Drop it.
Sure
Go ahead.
can.
All right, so some breaking news tonight was the Mountain West is currently in discussion with Oregon State and Washington State for joining their conference for basketball.
Just basketball.
I don't know if that – my guess is they're probably too big for football to play in that conference, but at least for basketball, that would make sense. They're good teams, but they're not great teams typically in basketball. So, and then I would just say, Tyler, you mentioned it earlier, and I know all three of us were texting the other night that madness is here early, right? So major upsets. I mean, guys, tonight, I'm pretty sure Marquette only beat St. Thomas, Minnesota by about like 4 or 5 points.
Yep.
And that was the same Marquette team that crushed Kansas. So, once again, madness across the board. Teams losing games that are pretty much buys or should be buys for them. But watch out this weekend. It's getting spicy. We got North Carolina versus Kentucky. We've got Michigan State versus Baylor. You got Creighton versus Alabama. And then number 1 versus number 3, Purdue versus Arizona. So lots of primetime big matchups that are out-of-conference matchups for you to keep an eye on this weekend.
Definitely some good matchups this weekend. So, yeah, college basketball is in full effect. So, I know we're going to keep on putting out some picks with college basketball for sure, too. So, keep an eye out. Anything else, boys?
I got nothing left to add.
All right.
Oh, boys, let's do it. Let's have a weekend, and let's continue this little 2-1 positive hot streak now.
Let's do it.
Heck yeah.
Let's do
Looks
it.
like we left the cold front, and we're moving back into warmer areas. So
Let's go.
let's do it.
All right. Hey, have a great weekend.
All right, fellas, take it easy.
See you guys.
See you.